All right, let's Mom just have you start.
Well, why don't you ID the
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
yeah.
Mom, tell me your name and where we are today.
Today we are in Costa Rica at our house in San Ramon, Costa Rica.
And what's your name?
My name is Kathleen Bordelon Duplantier.
Okay. I thought we would start by my asking you something about growing up in Kaplan.
Okay.
What's the um, what are some of your memories of that?
I remember that everybody in first grade went to school barefoot except me. I had corrective shoes on. And of course, I had to wear them every day. Uh, Everybody spoke French except me and my Desertels. That's because our mothers were from Ruston, Louisiana, and they spoke English. So I spoke English. And I did get played with. I didn't get played with very much because no one could understand me. I played with
It's okay.
Mike a lot
Just let it be.
because he was my best friend.
Um,
Wait, just pause just a second, John.
so how did you get to school?
I usually walked to school. If I was ready early, I could walk to school. Sometimes I rode with my parents. Um, Mama and Daddy were both teachers, but Mama wasn't teaching in Kaplan. So sometimes I'd get a ride with my father when he was a teacher in Kaplan. He was the principal of the school in Kaplan. And sometimes I'd ride with Mr. Jules, who was Mike Desertel's father. He was a teacher in Kaplan.
Did the Desertels live near you?
They were our next door neighbors.
Um, so when you first went to school and everybody spoke French, um, how long was it before you became friends with all those little French speaking kids?
I didn't become friends with all those little French speaking kids,
Eventually, you must have
some of them.
some. What were they like? Some were coming from the swamps, huh?
Yeah. Uh, my daddy tells the story of going in a boat to pick up a few people because they weren't sending their kids to school. And he was mad that the children weren't going to school at all. So he would go in a boat to pick them up. And I think it convinced the parents that their kids could be boated in. Not voted in, boated in.
um, what else do you remember about growing up? What did y'all do on the weekends?
We played baseball a lot
Where?
uh, at different people's houses. I remember going to Joan Broussard's house a lot, and she had horses too. So we rode her horses sometimes. But she had big fields, and we'd play baseball in those fields. And what we used for first, second, and third bases and home were cow pies. So if you slid into third, you really slid in.
uh, um, what about going to Ruston? How often? What are your first memories of going up to Ruston?
Um, I remember having to babysit myself a lot. Behave. I meant behave myself a lot because you didn't misbehave in the rust. There were certain rules and you followed them. Uh, I remember there were ghosts in the house, and one time I heard somebody shuffling cards, and on the floor the next morning there was a deck of cards spread out. And I was sure the ghost had played cards during the night.
Kathleen, tell about where was that ghost? What room was that in?
That was in the guest bedroom.
Where were you sleeping?
That's where I was sleeping
Oh,
sometimes.
what did the ants think of that?
What did they say about the ghosts?
Yeah.
They knew there were ghosts there.
Did they know who it was?
Well, there was probably some of the people who were buried in the backyard.
Um, what about going to Bourdalompville? Do you remember have memories of that?
Yeah. I remember the summers, the winters there, because it was really cold. And we used to sit in front of the fire and get warm, then run and jump in bed. We were still warm from the fire.
Were your cousins there when you went?
Sometimes some of the cousins were
Kathleen, tell more about the house. That's the old Momo and Papa's house there.
there. Yeah.
What do you remember about what happened in the morning there?
In the morning, um, we had to wash our face. So we had to break the ice in the bowl that we had in our room before we could wash our face. And it was cold to wash our face. And Mama always fixes a good breakfast. And we ate that in there was like a little room where they serve. It was a small dining room, and that's where we'd eat breakfast.
What did you have for breakfast?
Kush kush.
What's that?
It's cornmeal.
Did you have a lot of bacon too?
Yeah, we had bacon once in a while, but not every day.
Hmm. And then what would you do during the day when y'all were visiting there?
Um, well, the first thing early in the morning, Pawpaw had to milk his cows, so I'd go with him to milk the cows, and sometimes he would squirt the milk right on me. And
Do you remember when they would kill a pig? What was that like?
when they killed the pig, which was usually a holiday, and for those events, that's when we were sure that some of the cousins were there. And Paula and Gretchen were always there.
Who are they?
That's Auntie's daughters. And they lived next door to Mama and Pawpaw. And of course, they spoke perfect French. And Gretchen was real smart, like many of the Bordelon cousins. And she learned to read before she ever went to school. She could read all sorts of things. But I think Mama had taught her a lot. And she was, yeah, she was real smart.
What was the house like? Oh, the killing the pigs.
Killing the pigs. Um, they put a long board between his legs, and they hung it up so that the fat would drip down into the fire, and it was real smoky while they were cooking. But
And they just hung it over the fire.
yeah, and they turned it.
And then what was it like to eat?
It's fabulous.
Did you eat the skin?
Yeah, I always got the pig's tail. That was kind of my treat. It was crispy and delicious.
um, what else?
I said something.
What
It was Gretchen that was so smart.
it was Gretchen that was so smart.
What did y'all do during the day there, Kathleen?
Oh, after they picked cotton, we'd go behind the rows of cotton and we'd pick what they hadn't picked. Sometimes there was little pieces of cotton left, and we'd pick that.
What else did they grow there?
That's all I know of. All the rows were cotton,
They have vegetables too.
I'm sure, but I didn't pay attention to that.
What do you remember of your grandfather?
Oh, he pinched me on the breast and said, "When are you going to grow those?" I think I was about 13. I was old enough to realize he shouldn't have done that.
What was he like? Did he speak French or English to you?
He spoke French to me.
Did he speak any English?
A little bit, but not to me.
Yeah. What about your mom, your grandmother?
Um, all I remember of her was that she spoke French all the time.
She mostly stay inside and cook, or was she out working in the fields?
No, she stayed inside cooking.
What was her specialty dish that she made, or what did she cook?
Uh, what I remember is the pork there. Pork was really good.
I remember you told me once she made cakes. Is that right? Did she make good cakes?
Yes, she made good cakes.
Okay, what about, okay, so back in Kaplan, when y'all were growing up, I know there was a gang of y'all. Who were they when you were growing up? Who were your friends when you were growing up?
Vicky, Joan, Mary Agnes. Mary Agnes eventually became a teacher around Lake Charles. Um, Russell Como and I were good friends too. We'd go to Myrna's house. Myrna lived right near me. And we'd go to her house and we jitterbugged a lot. And we played cards a lot. In fact, if I wanted to drink beer, I would give Russell Como my quarter when I got to the bar we were at, and he would have to win back the money that I would use to buy beer.
What were they were playing craps or something, or cards?
He was playing cards. He was a really good card player. In fact, he eventually moved to Las Vegas and he played cards there. And he was real smart. And he'd always win back a lot more money than my quarter.
So you had beer money.
I had beer money, but I wouldn't spend it all. That way I had some spending money too.
So what did y'all do for fun besides going to the bar at age 13?
um, we played baseball and
Did you go water skiing?
we went water skiing all the time. My dad had a boat, other people had boats, and we'd even go in the rivers near us that had alligators, which is probably stupid, but we did. And if we fell down, um, we'd like to scare who was driving the boat. I remember one time, because there were alligators close to the shore, and one time Stan Hardy was driving, and I remember him scaring him about his sister Polly, and I said, "I don't know where she is," and he got his, "Oh my God!" and he jumped up. He was real tall. He jumped up. He said, "Where is she?" And I said, "I don't know. You dropped in here, but I never saw her again." And I scared him to death. But anyway,
She was just behind you.
yeah, we were just trying to scare Stan.
Did y'all go fishing? Did you go fishing? So
Yeah, we usually went fishing, and we went crawfishing a lot too. We went fishing because Daddy had a boat, and so we'd go out with him fishing. But the crawfishing, we could go in the rice fields right near us, and we'd go like in gangs to go crawfishing.
how would you do it? Like, you'd have traps?
We
Somebody.
had traps, and then when we pull up the trap, it was full of crawfish, and we put it into a big burlap bag. And when we got home after we crawfished all day, uh, we would boil the crawfish along with a few potatoes and some vegetables.